next person I'm going to call to come and speak is one of my all-time favorites in Basildon. He's a local resident, and his name is Richard Obahor. He's the CEO of Purple Premium Limited, who has a die-in-the-wool attitude to accomplish doggedness, resilience, determination, and success, which is all the combination that he uses for his success today. But he'll tell you all about it. The notable public speaker, who is also known for his sartorial dressing, has interest in other promising and fascinating career adventures, such as his special publication for the delight of real estate enthusiasts called Richard Obahor Developer Extraordinaire. He has garnered several skills and experiences from reputable professional institutions, as well as an MBA from the prestigious Plymouth University, UK. Richard won the prestigious 2016 BEFTA Leadership Award and the 2016 GAB Gathering of Africa's Best Award for Excellence. Can you please welcome Mr. Richard Obahor to the floor?
When Yetunde was doing that intro, I was saying, really, who's she talking about? Anyway, I am humbled and honored to come and speak this evening. I want to say thank you so much, Yetunde, for asking me to come and speak here. For me, it's a privilege. I see the opportunity to come and hold talks like this as a big boost for me, because I like to go around and encourage people. I like to go around and talk to people about what I do, how I got where I am today in my career. So when I was asked, I was very excited. If you see me on that day, you would actually thought that I'd won £1 million contract. So yes, I'm very happy, and well done Yetunde for this initiative. It's a wonderful thing to want to empower people. It's a wonderful thing to want to empower our youth. And I think what you're doing is very commendable. I think you are deserving of a clap. So I'll ask that you please clap for that. Right. Okay. My name is Richard Obahor. I am a property developer. I'm a businessman, but I'm a property developer. I build properties here in the UK, and I build properties back in Nigeria, because originally I'm from Nigeria. As Yetunde said, I hold an MBA as well, so I'm very theoretical. So I can stand and talk about all the theories in business. But I realize that when I do that, when I get asked to come and speak at events like this, and I do that, I lose people. I can come and talk about all the matrices in business and all of that, and all the analysis and all of that. I'll bore you. So I always say to people, it's better off to tell my story, how I got to where I am today. And I think that's a lot more relatable. And so I'll have to crave your indulgence. I will be talking about myself a lot. I'll be telling my story, because I feel that there's no point in coming and pulling theories out of a book and I can't relate. I could do that all day, but I need to be able to talk from my heart. And there's another thing I think about as well. It is important that I tell you what I have practiced as well. So please bear with me. I'll have to tell a lot of my stories. Bear with me. So I started out in property about 12 years ago. I bought my very first property as a buy-to-let landlord, and I realized I had some equity in the property, and I refinanced that property, pulled out some capital, and bought another property. And from that property, refinanced again and bought another one. From that property, refinanced and bought another one, and another one, and another one. And within a space of 2 years, I managed to build myself a property portfolio in a few £1 million. And I was quite lucky, actually. And at that point, I thought that perhaps I could offer this as a service. And because the property buying processes very fragmented, and it could be very daunting. It's very onerous. So I thought I'll open shop. So I'll help people who want to acquire property, and I'll help them buy property, and I'll charge them a fee. And I did that, and it worked. And I did that for a while, and I thought, you know what, let's explore this a little bit more. And I thought I'll go back to Nigeria, source for high net worth individuals who want to come and acquire properties here in the UK, and I'll help them buy properties, and I'll charge them the fee. And I did that, and it was successful as well. It worked. And these guys pay you very well. I did a transaction for somebody, and he paid me £150,000 in one transaction. That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. I'm not boasting. I'm not. It's.
No, you just want to share.
I want to tell you exactly what is achievable.
Yeah.
He's a very wealthy guy. One of my biggest clients. He was with me. He was here in London about 3 weeks ago, and he calls me and he says, "Richard, come to the Dorchester. I'm putting up in the Dorchester." So I was the very first person to welcome him. He comes into the UK with his private jet, and he introduces me to all these guys, and he says, "That's my pilot." And I'm thinking he's talking about his pilot like a driver, and I'm thinking, you know what? But he's a very, very wealthy man. I always say to people, he speaks monies. When we speak, he speaks monies. He goes up to the floor where he is, and the manager from the Dorchester was sort of showing him the rooms that he had. And this guy had the whole floor, and that's a few £1,000s for that. So I have clients. I have clients like that. So my going to Nigeria, sourcing for clients like this, saw me going backwards and forwards to Nigeria, and at that point I spotted a gap as well. I realized that these guys, very wealthy guys, they live in multi-million-pound properties. And they asked me to come and stay there, and I realized that the property is very expensive with all the grand and the decor. They're not properly done. They're not properly finished. So I thought, you know what if I can bring my builders from here in the UK, take them to Nigeria and start to build good quality homes. And that's the gap I filled. And that worked excellently well. It worked excellently well. And so we've been doing that. The last development the most current development we're doing at the moment, that's about £2 million. That's in Lagos, in Lekki. And we're sort of about midway that development. So that's going on well as well. As Yetunde said, I've had a number of awards in my time. You probably haven't heard about that. Yesterday was awarded a doctorate from the University of Westminster. And I'm very excited for that. So yes, I've done that. I have my own publication. I write. I'm going to do something today, and so that's been sort of my story. But I say to people, that's the good side of my story. It's not never been always that rosy, and because in 2008 I lost everything. I lost everything. That's from driving a £40,000 car to going to a friend of mine to borrow a car, from earning over £250,000 per year to going to earn £6.50 in a recycle centre in Beckton? I think it's in Beckton or so. And that's for me, employing people to go and work there. So I was devastated. The recession, 2008 recession, I lost everything. And but I'm thankful because within a space of 2 years, I bounced back. Within a space of 2 years, I bounced back, and I know I am where I am today. But I say to myself, I got to the top of my career, as it were. I lost everything. And within a space of 2 years, I bounced back. Now, was I lucky? Was I lucky? Was I twice lucky?
Yeah.
You think so? Well, I'm actually writing a book. I'm actually writing a book now called Twice Lucky, and I explore these things. But I don't think I've been twice lucky. I don't think so. There are some principles that I've pursued. There's some principles that I've followed. There's some principles that I've employed throughout my 12 years in business. That I think that perhaps these things might be a contributory factor to where I am today. And I'm going to be sharing a few of these things today. Number one, integrity. Integrity in business is absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. So as youngsters, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you are, whether I'm speaking to a room full of top CEOs or a room full of bankers, whoever I'm speaking to, I always say to them, if you don't have integrity, you must not be in the marketplace. It's very, very important. Now, the challenge is people talk about integrity, but they don't actually realize the strength of that word integrity. The sort of doors it can open for you and the sort of doors it can shut for you. I have had in my time a past president of Nigeria as one of my clients. And I'm proud to say that. I was invited to the villa. This is out of context because I know most of you might not know this. The villa is where the president stays in Nigeria. So I was invited to come there, and I was asked to come and stay in a very, very nice, glamorous, shiny room. And I said to myself, how did I get here? I was going to use my phone and take some pictures and put it on social media and say, no, look at me, look at me. But I chose, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But I asked myself this fundamental question. I said, how did I get here? Now, I can assure you it's not from the influence from my parents. It's not from my education. It's not from people that I know. It's purely because of integrity. My integrity and someone else's lack of it. And I'll tell you a quick story. The guy who introduced me to the president, I met him about 6-7 years ago, and I used to do work for him. And to date, in about a 5-year period, I've probably made about £500,000 in profit from providing services to him. I'm not boasting, please. I have to say these figures so you know what's achievable, please. It's very, very important, so you know what's achievable. I've made around £500,000 from him, at least, in the time I've offered services for him. So one day he was telling me a story, and he says to me that before he met me, someone was introduced to him, and I think he was coming in from Nigeria and he wanted a short-let accommodation. And the guy says to him, I can help you get a short-let accommodation. And he says to the guy, how much is it? And he says, it's £6,000. And he gave the guy the £6,000. This was about 6 years ago, before he met me. And he goes, the guy says, I'll get it done for you. And he gives the guy the £6,000. And guess what? The guy goes to a friend of his and says, look, I've got a client who's coming in from Nigeria. Can you vacate your flat? He feels that I can take £6,000, put the £6,000 in my pocket, and swindle the client. So he did that. He got his friend, vacated his flat, and staged the flat like a serviced accommodation. I mean, bearing in mind, this guy is a very, very wealthy person. He would normally stay in 5, 6-star, 7-star hotels. And you're coming to do this. And obviously you're expected to make money from that £6,000, but he gives you all the money. But you feel you can do that. So my chap was telling me that when he got there, he saw, with his family, he saw what the guy had done, that obviously he's tried to defraud him from his money. And he says he walked back into the car with his family and drove off. And he never set eyes on that guy again. Now, what is the moral of my story? That guy, in my time, introduced me to the president. That guy, I have made, as I said, at least £500,000 from him. Now, if this guy who thought that £6,000 was a lot of money for him, if that guy only did what he was supposed to do, what he was paid to do, what he was asked to do, guess who would have been introduced to the president when the opportunity came? Him. Because this guy would probably not have met with me. Probably not. Probably not have met with me. Who would have made close to over £500,000 that I said I've made from that guy? Him. For £6,000. I mean, I don't know the guy. If I see him today, I'll smack him at the back of his head. I'll say he's a silly ball. because he threw out his, and I'm only talking about that. There are loads of people that I know, loads of doors that have been opened to me, loads of opportunities, loads of things that I've achieved as a result of that singular relationship. And it baffles me to think that somebody else could have been in my shoes if they had integrity. If they had integrity. So it's absolutely important as youngsters. If I am going to share anything that I can tell you I have learned for my past 12 years, where achieving what I've achieved today, arriving at where I've arrived today, is please hold on to your integrity. So when you say you will do something, please make sure you do it. And sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes as a service provider, as a business person, I have to do that at my own loss. Sometimes I go into a transaction because I have committed myself to say, I'll do it. It will cost me money. I would lose money. But because I know that my name is absolutely important, that I hold my reputation in place, I'll do that at a loss. So it's very, very important that we do that. It's very, very important that we do that. Now, number two, we've got to be bold. We've got to be bold. I say to people, for you to, and it doesn't even matter if you're coming into business, whether you want to go into employment. It doesn't matter, but you've got to be bold. You've got to be fearless. You've got to look circumstances in the face and say, I am strong enough to handle this. Because fear has a way of crippling you. Fear has a way of taking away your rational, your ability to think properly. I had a transaction I did. I bought a property somewhere in Burnley. Sorry, not Burnley. Grimsby. Anyone knows Grimsby? Grimsby, you know Grimsby. And I bought a house. I bought it for £20,000. And it was one of those properties that I did not see. I had an agent of mine. He offered me the property. And I felt £20,000. That was a few years ago. £20,000, that's not too bad. So I paid for the property without actually going there to see it. But when I went there, it was an absolute disaster. I thought, oh my goodness, I have lost my money because it was run down. Well, Grimsby, exactly. It was run down. And the locals there, they said, "What are you doing? You're crazy. How on earth can you come here and invest? This place is a druggy-ridden place. This place, it's a complete, no, you can't. And I was discouraged. But obviously, I bought the property. There was nothing I could do about it. I had to go ahead and refurbish the property. So I even employed them. I employed the locals. I asked them to come on board. And they helped me out. I spent about £20,000 on that property. So £20,000 purchase, £20,000 refurbishing. Who can guess how much I sold that property for when I finished? Who can? Sorry? Wow, that's ambitious. Anybody guess? 100? Anybody?
65.
65? I'm actually going to give a gift to the person that is closest. So we'll keep on.
Okay, so whisper it.
No, I'm not going to tell you.
I need that gift.
£47,000.
If you say 85.
How much? 100K. All right. Okay, we'll take one last one.
How long
Hold on. The mayor's asking a question.
I refurbished the property about 2 months. 52,000 main says.
52,000.
I've been a grimace.
70. 47.
47. Someone said 100. Who said 100? Who said 110?
110. Who said 110?
All right, 110. It was 125,000 pounds.
I was closest.
I'm writing.
Did you get my 125?
I'm writing a book.
Right here in the front.
And that's a chapter of the book, The Mind of an Entrepreneur. I just had to print that out because I had to present it somewhere I'm going to. Now, It was £125,000. £125,000. So I cleared on that transaction £85,000. Now
And so you should give me 85,000. I got the 85,000 profits.
all right, okay, no. So how many did I sell it for? But this is the point. This is the point I'm making. This is the point I'm making. If I had been to that, and this is one transaction out of many I did, but I thought this is very relevant. If I had been there and seen the property before I bought it, and I had spoken to the locals, would I have bought it? Of course not. Why wouldn't I have bought it? Because I would have been afraid. They would have discouraged me. But I cleared £85,000 from that transaction. Well, naturally, because I didn't see it. But it's absolutely important. I mean, now think about this. The guys who were there, the locals, underneath their noses, I came, as it were, I saw. And I conquered. But they were afraid. They were afraid. So it's absolutely important. If there's any message I can pass on to you guys, is that please don't be fearless. Please don't be fearless. Now, number three. Out of all the things that I have done, the things that I've achieved, the doors that I've walked into, if perhaps at the point where I took the action that I took to start out in business, if I did not take the action at that point, perhaps this whole episode of my life will not have existed. So everyone sitting here in the room today, there's something you've heard about, there's something you've learned, something I've said, something some of the previous speakers have said, something the mayor will probably say. The crucial thing for us is to take action. So I'm going to ask you to do a simple task. Everyone got a phone? Yeah? No? Yes. If you don't have a phone, please take dad's or take mom's or grab one phone. Now, in that phone, there's an application called your alarm. Agree? We got all that. Set your alarm to 333. It doesn't matter. PM. Okay, PM. Yeah? Done that? You haven't found yours? Alright, we'll wait. We'll wait. No, 333. 333. Now we're all there, are we? Now what I want us to do is this. Very simple. One of the things I can say I can attribute to my success is where I'm still on the journey. I'm not where I am, where I want to be, but at least I'm on a journey. I feel I've done quite remarkable things. Is that I took action. And one of the things I determined to do, very, very simple, was that when I knew the path that I was going to follow, I said to myself, I must do one thing every day to help me achieve my goal. So whether it's to do some research, whether it's to make a call, whatever it is, talk to people, network, whatever it is, I needed to make sure I do one thing every day to get me to my goal. So please, whenever your phone goes off for 333 every day, ask yourself, what have I done to get me to the point where I want to get to? What have I done? Because you never know. You never know where that can take you to, if you can achieve your goals. You never know whether it might be you standing in front of this room talking to others in a few years' time. The same way I am, the same way Mayo is, the same way other people have achieved. You never know. But I can assure you, this is what it's like. You have been wonderful at this. Thank you.